because it's Martin Luther King Day and I'm not choosing violence. But I really think a lot of organizations could learn something from how Unrivaled really rolled out the inaugural league.
Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Corner 3 podcast. We start off every episode with an interesting fun fact. The three-point shot that we love so much did not officially exist till 1979-1980 season. It was debated for years leading up to that, whether or not they should have it. Now we have it, and we're debating whether or not we should keep it. Look how times have changed. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Good morning. Yeah, you should let everybody know this is our first AM recording too. So hopefully maybe I'll be a little bit more I don't know, lively, because those evening recordings are tough, man. Y'all know I go to bed early, so I'll be having to reach deep down and stay engaged, and I fall asleep. That's why I stand up when I record, so I don't fall asleep.
Some knowledge for those that's listening and watching. That's why Rush be standing up. If he's standing up, it's a late episode.
Yeah, but I'm sitting down now. I'm comfortable. I'm locked in. Let's go.
Hey, appreciate everybody that locked in, that was commenting, sharing, watched the episodes. Even though Rush is saying that, he had to dig deep, y'all did enjoy the content from Rush and Jared, their takes. So we appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment. Starting off, some basketball news of the week. Auburn 17-1, 10-game winning streak. They are the number one ranked team in men's college basketball. Shout out to Tahad Pettiford. That's a Jersey product. Jersey put out some of the best guards. We could debate that on another episode, but Jersey puts out the best guards. Paige Beckers reached 2K in her career at UConn in her 102nd game, which actually broke the previous record of 108 games held by one of my WNBA GOATs, Maya Moore. She's the 12th player in UConn history to hit this milestone. Women's basketball teams will finally be paid for playing games in the NCAA tournament each March, which is a hand clap, which we are glad that is finally happening. It's a long time coming. Ja Morant has missed his 18th game this season, which disqualifies him from regular season awards. Ja has been playing really good when he's actually played, but we won't see him get any MVP votes. We won't see him get any votes, most improved, anything like that. He won't make an all NBA team. He's missed the mark. Now, last piece of news, we have Unrivaled League has officially started. Again, we posted it. Shout out to those that celebrate. Unrivaled League is here. Fellas, what was your initial thoughts on the league and the games that happened?
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I like it. I like it a lot. Admittedly, I haven't had time to actually do full-on research on it, so I did not know it was a full court format. So when I see the run up and down the court, I'm like, oh, this is cool. And it's a smaller court, so it makes a lot more sense. And I also like the idea of the one shot for a free throw correlating to the foul. So I really like what they're doing. It's really kind of innovative with what they're doing. Maybe the WNBA will take some notes on it and apply it to their league, but we'll see.
Yeah, I excuse me, just from like a branding standpoint, I just really appreciate their marketing. I mean, it's just been top notch, man. And I really think a lot of organizations, I won't call any out specifically because it's Martin Luther King Day and I'm not choosing violence. But I really think a lot of organizations could learn something from how Unrivaled really rolled out the inaugural league, and a lot of education they did on social media so that fans, who were kind of locked in with the official account could kind of know what to expect. All the teams have their own social media accounts. Shout out to Unrivaled because they have a presence on Threads. It's just been great, and it's all been building up to this past week. And the first game ended with a buzzer beater from Skylar Diggins-Smith, and I think the second game I saw, what was it, Tuesday? What night was it? Thursday night? Did the league start? What's today? It was
Today
Friday.
is
I don't know.
Monday, so it's Friday and Saturday.
Not my day. My days run together. So yeah, Friday. Ended. The second game was just as good. I got to showcase Angel Reese hitting the little step back jumper and what you call it. So I loved it, man. I didn't think I would like 3-on-3 full court as much as I did, but because they changed the dimensions of the court, it wasn't like, super wide open. But there was still a lot of space to work. You know what I'm saying? So it was like Steve Nash said when they were interviewing him, he was like, you can't hide on 3-on-3. So you can really see one who can go and then who can hold up on the defensive end. So it's great. I think there was a lot of momentum coming into the opening night. I look forward to seeing it continue, throughout the rest of the season. It's great to see WNBA basketball in the winter.
Yeah, I think.
Professional women's basketball in the winter. Excuse me.
I think you mentioned it, the WNBA though, but I think they'll be working hand in hand because what Unrivaled has says from day one, the whole goal is also to have the players be able to stay home, but you get skill work, you get to get better. So the coaches are all basically skill development coaches that's helping them, which that's going to help the W because now you got your players coming back. They got better in the off season. They got to stay home. So I think this only helps the W. And like you said, they should take some tips because that marketing, the rollout. A lot of people talk about album rollouts. This rollout for Unrivaled,
that's very good. It's been really good, man.
Genius from
really good.
beginning to end, having Sephora there. Like the W, maybe whoever made these decisions, put the pride aside, give them a call and find out, hey, can y'all help us make it work? And it's probably listening to the players because that's Nafisa Kali and Brianna Stewart set it up. So shout out to Unrivaled. We'll be locked in. We'll be talking about it throughout the entire season. We'll be posting it on Threads. Thank you again for those that have been engaging with us on Threads. Win streaks in the NBA. The Bucks have a 4-game winning streak. Clippers on a 4-game winning streak. The Hawks and the Pelicans are tied for the third longest winning streak so far at 3 games. Losing streaks, though. Washington Wizards, 10-game losing streak. But some would say they're doing what they're supposed to do. 76ers, 6-game losing streak. And the Bulls are on a 5-game losing streak. All 3 of these teams will be battling, will be trying to make sure that they are in position to get Cooper Flagg, to get Dylan Harper. And honestly, from what I've seen so far, this season is really a 2-man race. We're not going to see nobody else jump up between those two. For y'all, speaking of the Cooper Flaggs of the world, the Dylan Harpers, that means they're going to be one and done. Who comes to mind for y'all some of the best one and dones that y'all have seen in the college basketball space?
Go ahead, Jared. Okay. No, you go ahead. I want to hear this.
Okay. For me, Carmelo Anthony, I think he averaged about 22 and 10 that one year in his college season, and ended up winning the championship. Got to put Kevin Durant up there because he basically won like every award that season. And I got one that I think a lot of people don't talk about. Trae Young. Trae Young averaged about 27 and 10 his 1 year in college. I didn't realize he was a one and done until the other night when I was looking it up. And I was like, okay. So, and I got to put Derrick Rose in there because that championship run, even though they lost in the championship, that was amazing to me. They lost to Kansas, and to this day, I think they still don't. They erased Derrick Rose's kind of record while he was in college because of the whole SAT scandal, whatever the case would be. And Anthony Davis, because 1 year, 1 championship, got out of there. And then the fact that he went to the league and became an offensive threat when he was a defensive player in college, so that was amazing to me too.
Yeah, shout out. That's a name that a lot of people forget about. Trae Young at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was nice.
Nasty work. It was nasty work. He definitely previewed, hey, this is what y'all gonna get when I get to the league because he put up those same type of numbers 20, 25 points, 10, 15 assists. And then any given night, he might go drop 40, 50. And it looked easy with a hair issue. Like that's
He Rogan.
bruh, you gotta be a killer. You gotta be a killer to not let that bother you.
Not the hair issue. Come on, man.
Straight killer. You mentioned Rogan. You talking about a lot of companies need to actually copy Unrivaled because Rogan could have been called this man.
Hey, listen though, every great player has a hair problem. Michael, Kobe, LeBron, maybe Trae Young to fall into that category.
That's actually a good point. I never actually even realized that.
No, yeah, I never thought about it that way, but you go ahead, Rush.
I really only had two, Melo and Anthony Davis. So Jared already called those out. I think there was no one who thought there was even a remote chance that Melo would come back for a second season at Syracuse. Everybody kind of knew, like, nah, he's going to get his one in and go to the league. And then just the fact that he led Syracuse, I believe that was their first national championship ever, right? So to come in to do that as a freshman, 22-10, and then he had an incredible tournament, and then bounced, did what he was supposed to do, and then went ahead to the league. I really enjoyed following him that year. And then Anthony Davis, I think he set the single season record for freshmen in blocks. I think he had like something crazy like 187, and averaged like 4.7 blocks a game. And is that their last championship? Have they not won? Has Kentucky hasn't won one since then, right?
I don't think so. That was part of why Calipari ended up out the door.
They didn't win one with Cat.
I don't think they.
Cat and Devin Booker, that team. I don't think so.
Maybe they did. I don't know. But it's one of their more recent ones, if nothing else. If not their most recent, it's their next recent. But yeah, as a freshman, there's a lot of talent that came through Kentucky when Cal was there, and to be able to stand out like AD did, it's just impressive as a freshman. But I'm gonna throw one more out. Just another guy I really appreciated watching, Michael Beasley. Like, if y'all remember, Southpaw, all the hype, 6'8", could do whatever, shifty, could handle it, 3 levels. Like, I mean, he had that Kansas State team. They were balling, and I remember they had the rivalry with Kansas because the Morris twins were there. And I remember those games were really, everybody got up for those games too. So obviously then, they couldn't get a championship, but I think he dropped like 26 points a game as a freshman, and just made it look easy. Like, basketball just looks really easy for Michael Beasley. And that changed a little bit when he got to the league for, a number of reasons that we all know about. But him in college, it was like he was playing against 8th graders is what it looked like. And he was just scoring at will. So those would be my 3.
Yeah, KD has mentioned how, like, them growing up in the DMV area, it was be easy. It was Michael Beasley. He was the guy, actually, before even KD, to throw it out there, because he was on my list too. 26 points per game that year. 28 out of 33 games, he recorded a double-double. And the stat that a lot of people just don't pay attention to, he led the nation in rebounding that year.
Oh, wow.
Led the nation in rebounding at 12.4 as a freshman with 26 points. Crazy freshman season. Really sucks that it didn't pan out to what we thought it could be, and like Rush said, for multiple different reasons. For those that's watching that, like, the fact check people, Kentucky last won in 2012. That was the Anthony Davis squad. Since then, Calipari has some great squads, and it just didn't pan out, which is why Calipari's at Arkansas struggling over there now. So
are they struggling? Do you know their record?
Arkansas, I think they're 2 games above 500, and they are tied for the last team in the SEC.
Wow.
Do they have any top recruits right now?
Boogie Flynn, he's been playing pretty decent. Wagner, DeJuan Wagner's son, not too good. It's looking like it might be a situation.
Did you just say DeJuan Wagner's son?
Yeah.
DJ Wagner, right?
Yeah, DJ Wagner.
Yeah.
He was at Kentucky. It didn't pan out. Now he's at Arkansas with Cal still.
Y'all got to stop making me feel old on these podcasts, man. Like, there ain't no way that DeJuan Wagner old enough to have a son who's playing college basketball. Like, DeJuan Wagner was just I feel like DeJuan Wagner was just in the league like 8 years ago.
Yeah, DJ Wagner over there. Shoot, that's a lot of names over. Peja Stojakovic's son is playing in college now. Jason Richardson's son is playing in college too at Michigan, and the athletics didn't get past him. He's more of a fundamental skill type of guy. He's good. He's not bouncy like Pops, but
yeah.
Jared and Russia, if you want to chime in too, of course. I'll throw my names out there before we go into the Cooper Flag conversation. Kevin Love, that season that he had at UCLA, 17.5 points, 10 rebounds, double machine, Pac-10 Player of the Year, as we saw when he came to Minnesota.
Kevin Love was one and done?
Kevin Love was one and done.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Throw out two other names that's not really talked about as much. Andrew Wiggins, that year at Kansas, 17 points, 6 boards, really showed his athleticism, and I believe he was Mr. USA Player of the Year coming into college, coming from Canada, so he did what he's supposed to do at Kansas.
Yeah.
Throwback for those that watch, this is our second episode, so we don't have all of our demographic analytics yet, but if you watching and you of the older age, in that 40 to 50 range, I got a name for you. Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
I knew you were going to say that.
Over in California, Pac-10 Player of the Year, National Freshman of the Year, did his thing. And for my Jersey people, I'll throw this name out. Kyrie Irving. Uncle Drew. Only played 11 games.
I was going to say, didn't he play like 8 games?
Only played 11 games, but that's my point. Only played 11 games, and they saw from the 11 games, oh, yeah, that's the best player in the class off of 11 games. Shout out to Kyrie, Byrie, Hayla, whatever name he going by right now. Salute to you for that 11 games at Duke. Perfect transition. We talking about Duke. Cooper Flag. What's the ceiling for Cooper Flag? Because we've had discussions outside before this episode started for months, before we even decided to do a podcast, talking on Cooper Flag. I was on the side of, I'm Dylan Harper. I still love Dylan, but Cooper Flag is easily going to be the number 1 overall pick. What's his ceiling,
though? I think he could be a star. Superstar, might be a stretch right now because, to be real, he just turned 18, so he still has a lot of growing up to do. But from what I've seen on the college level, at least, he's a good scorer. He gets in his spots without a lot of dribbles, probably because his handle is like really limited. A lot of one dribble pull-ups, a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of cuts to the basket. He's starting to knock down the 3-ball more. I think he could be the number 1 pick, and I think he could thrive in the league if he gets a point guard who's going to get it to him and an offense that's centered around him. And he's, like I said, he has a lot of work to do, but very athletic, very tall, very versatile for a 6'10" guy, 6'9". So I think he could be like a prototypical wing in this league, just with the matter of just growing up, filling out his body, improving on some of the smaller things in his game.
So my whole, I guess you could say, critique of him since I've seen him at Duke, and even in high school, was the aspect of, you're going to be the number 1 overall pick. I would personally like to see a number 1 overall pick, which doesn't happen every year, obviously, because we have years where Anthony Bennett got drafted. But a number 1 overall pick to have more of an offensive package to actually help change the franchise. But what gives me hope and where I kind of change my tune, every scout, every coach, before they mention anything about Cooper Flag's on-court game, they say he has some of the best work ethic. So I'm sure he's aware of, hey, I probably got to fix my shot to be a little bit more consistent. I probably need to add the ball handling aspect in it so I could really be unstoppable on offense. So he'll figure it out. that's the thing that I like that I've heard from every scout, every other podcast I've listened to of people that are way more smarter than me concerning the draft, concerning scouting of players. The first thing they say when you mention Cooper Flagg's name, he just wants it. He works hard. He competes. He's trying to be the best possible. And you see that. Duke is the number 3 ranked team in the country in a huge part because of Cooper Flagg. My guy that I really like, Dylan Harper, because it's a point guard, shooting guard league. Rutgers is booty. Rutgers is booty. We're going to keep it a stack. And I think that factors in. You and Ace can't lead them to beating some teams that really deserve to play in high school. Like, all right, Cooper Flagg is helping. They have a better team in Duke, but I think that factors in. I'm going to take Cooper Flagg number 1 overall. And I think he'll improve. I don't know to the extent of a superstar, but I can see 15, 20-year career easy.
I don't really have a whole lot to add to this conversation because I know I don't watch a whole lot of college basketball, so I haven't gotten to watch Cooper extensively. I probably will at some point now that we have this podcast. So either just watching a little bit more during the week or once we get into tournament season. But didn't he have like a crazy 42 or something game recently?
42 against Notre Dame.
Against Notre Dame.
Easy. I think he missed 4 shots total.
Yeah, I think he hit like 5 threes or something like that. It was a crazy game. I was watching that game.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit. I saw him play a little bit during the summer when he was, on Team USA camp, and those are just clips. So you can put any number of clips together, and it looks like somebody is Jordan. But I do see like, I do see the it factor. I think, and the eye test, right? Like we always talk about the eye test. I don't really like using that argument because I feel like it just gives people a license to just say wild stuff. It's like, no, I see it, eye test, eye test. It's like you might have glaucoma because I don't know what you see in that player. But anyway, so, but I do think, in all fairness, he passes the eye test. I think he's a clear cut number 1. Based on what I have seen. I did get to watch a little bit of a Rutgers game the other day. I feel like Dylan and Ace should have that team a lot better than they are. But there's a lot of things that can go into that, right? Like, you don't know if the coach is trying to enforce his system, not necessarily matching that to the skill set of the players. Trayvon Edwards said something one time. He was on Bomani's podcast. He said some players got pro game, but they don't have college game. Right? Like that's why guys can average like 15, 16 in college, go into the league their rookie year and they drop like 20, 22. Because some guys' skill sets are for some reason translate better to a pro game than they do a college game where a coach is trying to confine you within a system. So, there's a whole lot of different number of things that could be going on as to why Rutgers is underperforming, and why, Cooper is excelling at Duke. But yeah, I definitely see star in him down the road. At a number 1 pick, are you okay with just having a star, or do you feel like you got to get a superstar at number 1? I think it depends on the team and where they are. You look at the bottom of the NBA standings. I think everyone who's is in position to get Cooper a number 1 pick needs a superstar. Can he fit that bill? It remains to be seen, but I definitely think he's, like you guys said, clear cut number 1, and I think he's got star potential already, like today.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting lineup. Koulibaly, Sarr, and Flagg, 3, 4, 5 right there. See how that works, and Poole stays there, and that might be the scoring guard that is needed and takes a load off of Cooper where he don't have to come in day 1, averaging 25. Everybody, reminder for those that's watching, everybody can't be Bron. I'm just put that out there. Everybody can't be Bron. Everybody doesn't come in and have that immediate impact. I think Cooper will be good too because he won't be in DC having too much mambo wings and eating unhealthy and having weight issues. like some other number one picks. But go ahead, Rush.
One, I don't appreciate the Anthony Bennett stray. Like the man's mind his business. I don't know why that was very uncalled for. It was right, but it was uncalled for. Like what's it saying? Like he's out of line, but he's right. That's you right there. You were completely out of line. But anyway, I got a question for Jared because he's our resident NBA beat writer. Not beat. Well, yeah, beat. I mean, not a beat officially, but you go to all the Wizards games or as many as you can go to. So I think you've seen them a lot more intimately than like Tone or I have. Is Jordan Poole an empty stats guy, or do you think he's actually becoming a legitimate contributing NBA player? Like, is he just dropping buckets because he's on a talentless team, or do you think he's actually becoming like the player that people thought he was going to be in Golden State?
To be honest with you, I always thought he had it because they won with the Warriors with Jordan Poole being basically the third option. Some nights, second or first option. So I always felt like he had it in him. I just think for like this team necessarily, they're just really young and inexperienced, and it's no real. They're still learning how to like build around the players that they have with the system. So I don't think he's an empty stats guy. I just think it's just a product of what we putting out there as far as like the players. Right. They're still young and inexperienced. A lot of these kids are 19, 20 years old, so they're already learning on the fly. And it's a lot of nights where you see the flashes with them. Like against the Suns the other day, they were down like 20, and then going into the fourth quarter, they cut to a 3-point game with a team of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. Bradley Beal didn't play, but to do that against that star caliber talent, that says a lot. And on top of that, Jordan Poole was out of the game for most of that stretch because of foul trouble. So I feel like, adding that Cooper Flag to that unit, they have a nice future. If people forget, Jordan Poole's still really young. This is only his 6th year, I believe. Yeah, 6th year.
Yeah.
So he's still really young. He's still learning as well, even though he is the leader, but he's still learning to be that leader. And I want to tell you I got something. We all know about the Draymond Green situation and Jordan Poole. So Jordan Poole was saying how, I love most of those guys over there. Talking about Golden State. And Mark Spears posted about it on Twitter that he said that, put the quote up. Draymond Green commented on that post and said, "I'm really sorry." So,
oh really?
Shout out to Draymond for the accountability.
I mean,
is it?
I was about to say the thing with Draymond, he was accountable. That man would still be in a Golden State Warriors jersey. There's somebody else that has a little hair issue that would still be in a Golden State Warriors jersey.
I mean, not even that, but just like, have you called him? Like,
what's funny?
Did you take him out to dinner when y'all was in Washington or when they were in Golden State? Like, and for all I know, maybe he tried, and Jordan's just like, nah, dude, you sucker punched me. Like, you dead to me. Like, I don't know. It just
I think that's like what it is, though.
And I could understand that. Like, as a man, I honestly could understand not being able to get past that. Maybe forgive him, but be like, I'm not messing with you.
You can forgive, and that don't mean we got to be best friends again. So maybe.
So I mean, maybe that's an unfair question to say. Is it really bigger Draymond? Because we don't really know what they're doing. Not in front of the camera, not on social media. So that's probably unfair of me. But I don't know. I'm just ready for the Draymond Green podcast episode where he talks about it. But if it's genuine, shout out to Draymond because how he's portrayed in the media, it would not be somebody who's willing to say something like, "I'm sorry." Like, I don't think he apologized for punching Nurk in the side of the head. I know he did the work, you know what I'm saying, that they came after it to get back on the court, but so yeah, that's anytime someone can acknowledge when they're wrong and apologize in public, that they should be commended for that. So I take it back. Shout out to Draymond. I'm sorry. I haven't had my coffee yet, man, so I'm a little Jekyll and Hyde going on over here.
No, to your point, though, I mean, it's good in word. We'd love to see it in action. No more
Yeah.
punching people in the head.
We need
the
we need the Shaq and Kobe
yes.
interview, right? Where they're sitting across from each other. We need that interview in like 5 years.
Hey, there's a couple people Draymond could do that episode with. It might be a whole series. Hey, Poole for the first episode, KD for the next episode.
Oh yeah, KD, Draymond and KD. Yeah, but I feel like
Gobert. Yeah,
Draymond. Gobert's never happened.
But Draymond and KD is good, man.
I don't think Gobert is ever.
I think it's funny. I think KD and Draymond had a sit down recently, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they did, yeah. I remember hearing that.
All right, cool. Well, we talking the conversation of number one picks. One number one pick that I feel has panned out and has been balling and has led a Detroit Pistons, Detroit basketball back to prominence after last year, where we all on Threads was rooting for them for that losing streak to end. The Pistons are back to prominence. They are balling, and a lot of it is due to Cade Cunningham. Detroit basketball 21-21, 7-3 over the last 10. Cade is averaging 24, 6, and 9.
7 triple doubles.
7 triple doubles, 18 double doubles.
Hey, he's one and done too. And he had a nice college career. I didn't realize that.
Nice little thing, one and dones. What have y'all seen from the Pistons this year, and what do you think actually will ultimately become this season? Because right now they're a play-in team.
Well, I picked my hot take for the season was that the Pistons will make the playoffs. So I am the most bandwagon of bandwagon fans for this season. Probably this season only. But you've never met a more bandwagon Detroit Pistons fan than what you're looking at right here. But in all seriousness, man, like I think they did a really good job of going out and getting the kind of pieces you need to have around a ball dominant like combo lead guard like Cade. They went out, they got Beasley. They went out, they got Hardaway Jr. They went out, they got, I can't pronounce his name. Fontecchio, I think.
Yep, Fontecchio.
Yeah. I don't know how. I think he was playing a lot earlier on. I'm not sure where his minutes are right now. But you got shooters, right? Like, and even though Hardaway and Beasley are streaky, when they're on, like now you got to make a decision. Like when Cade's starting to attack, he gets to that second around the nail. Like, are you helping or are you staying home? Are you stunning? You get like it just becomes so much easier when you've got guys to pass through who can knock down the shot and be lethal. And I don't think they really had the right pieces around him last year. and he was hurt. Like, right. I think this is his first season where he's been like legitimately healthy. I know he's missed a couple of games here and there, but by and large, he's been available. And it's just, growth, right? Like things take time in the league and development for guards sometimes can take a little bit. Especially when you're supposed to sort of be the savior and you're in such a bad position as the Detroit Pistons were last year. And coaching, I think, has, I don't want to throw any shade at Monty. I think we all kind of love and appreciate Monty for what he's done in this league as a player and as a coach. But I think Bickerstaff just seems to be a little bit better for that ball club. So it's kind of crazy. We're going wild about a team that's 500, but the fact that it's the Pistons and everything that they've sort of been through recently as an organization, you can see, the progression happening like in front of your eyes. So I see them being a playoff team, probably via the play-in. But the way the East is, who knows? Like they might sneak into that 6th spot. I wouldn't rule it out. So go Detroit, baby. Detroit Pistons.
And to your point, Jaden Ivey, before he was injured, shooting 40% from the 3-point. Beasley, 39%. Tobias Harris, 35%.
No.
Hardaway Jr., 38%. And Fontecchio is shooting 35%. So he has some shooters around him. Like you said, are they the most consistent? No, but when they are on, they're on. They're streaky shooters, which
Yeah.
they can catch fire at any point, especially when you have a Cade setting them up, basically getting wide open, butt
Yeah.
naked threes. They're
Yeah.
bound.
They're lights out when they play the Lakers.
Yeah, all the time.
Hardaway and Beasley don't miss when they see that purple and gold in front of them. Another thing on Ivy, isn't it crazy how, as a player, because I think we've all played at different levels, right? Um, I topped out at high school. Um, when you have a coach who gives you the confidence that, hey, this is your role, this is what we need from you. Like Ivy last year, he was starting, then he was off the bench. He was off the bench, and then he was starting. Then he didn't get any minutes. Like I think he didn't play. He was out of the rotation the first few games of last year, I believe, early on in the season. Because I
Yeah.
remember that being a thing. People were asking Mike, they're like, "Yo, why isn't your top 5 pick like playing? like why isn't he playing?" Um, excuse me. And, Monty had his reasons, but it seems like he's got the confidence now of the coach before he got hurt to just go out there and do what they ask of him. So it's just amazing how much of a difference it can make for a player when you feel like you've got the coach's confidence and the coaches instill their confidence in you to go out there and play your game. And I think that's why we saw him having the season that he was having, and hopefully he can. I don't think he's been ruled out for the season. Excuse me. I don't think he's been ruled
He
out
can
for
come
the
back in
season.
the playoffs, I believe.
Yeah, so hopefully he can get back. But I think future's bright for him and K. That's going to be a great backcourt, I think.
Like you said, we appreciate Monty, but Monty got to wear this one because part of the reason why he was not really playing him was for a guy named Killian Hayes, I believe. And I don't know what roster he's on right now. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, Killian Hayes was getting a nice chunk of the minutes over Ivy.
No comment.
Robbery. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, so like we always said, this is a basketball junkies podcast. If you love basketball, we talking women's, men's, collegiate level, pro level, overseas, high school. Because there's some high school plays coming up. We might have an episode where we talk a little bit about AJ DeBanster over there, about to be at BYU, and what we see from him. They call him Baby T Mac. So we're gonna talk everything. So we're gonna go a little. We're gonna put the VHS in right now and hit the rewind button and throw it back. Moses Malone. I'm gonna throw out his resume because I think a lot of people forget about Moses. And Jared's gonna take the ball. The ball gonna be in his court because he made a little thread about people sleep on Moses Malone. Mm-hmm. Moses Malone, we're gonna start out with this one. Hall of Famer, 13-time All-Star, 6-time rebound champ, 1983 NBA champ and finals MVP, 8-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Defensive, 3-time MVP, and all-time team a part of the ABA, which is the league that was around way back in the beginning where you had Dr. J and them before they came over and became one with the NBA. What happened that day? Take us through that where you was like, y'all sleeping on Moses. What prompted the love and the flowers for good old Moses Malone?
Well, I always felt like Moses is underrated. Going back to their stats, because I wrote down the stats as well. So 6 out of 7 straight seasons, he was first in rebounds per game. The one season during that stretch that he wasn't first, he was second. 7 straight seasons lead the league in total offensive rebounds. First all time in career offensive rebound totals for regular season and playoffs combined. He's also 11th amongst NBA scoring leaders all time. So we just gotta give him his flowers because I feel like he's always getting the short end of the stick when we talk about the all-time centers. And Dr. J didn't have an NBA ring until Moses came. And Moses, I'm not gonna say he bounced around a bit, but he's been on a few teams. And when he went to Philly, they were saying the whole year we win the championship, 4-4-4. And what happened? They did it. So they we just need to give him the flowers that he deserves, and God rest his soul as well, because he passed away a few years ago.
Yep.
And Charles Barkley said he's one of the greatest players he's ever played with. He's like a father to him, a mentor, and we know how great Charles Barkley was, MVP as well. So we just have to, give it up to Moses. And Jokic, he's nice, he's good. But I feel like their resumes is kind of similar. And a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, Jokic is better than him as a basketball player. Oh, he's better. Jokic's the best center of all time." Slow down. Jokic is nice, but we gotta acknowledge the other centers who potentially have a better resume than him. That's just me.
Well, I know which clip is going to get the most action from this episode. My man said Jokic is all right.
And listen, I literally said a few weeks ago, y'all see that Jokic is the best player in the league.
Yeah.
So I give Jokic his flowers, but we gotta give Moses his flowers too.
Yeah, no, I think that's so on point, because you know how hard it is, as obviously the game grows and it advances, how hard it is to really keep in context how good a lot of the players who came before the players, like generations before, were. And a lot of people, they just look at box scores. But I'll be honest, I hadn't watched Moses Malone film in like 10, 15 years before I saw that clip that you had put up on Threads. And it was like, yo, this dude's moving like a modern day big. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so funny, like, my introduction to Moses Malone was I remember I was playing in a rec basketball league, and I was under the rim before. I was trash. I'll just say it. I was under the basket, and I kept shooting, and I would miss. But I was athletic. I could jump, so I would get the rebound, try to put it back up. I would miss, grab it, put it back. I did it like 3 or 4 times. And I got in the car, and my dad was like, "Yo, so you had a little Moses Malone action going on in the game, didn't you?" I was like, "What are you talking about? Who's Moses Malone?" And then, he kind of told me, how he kind of perfected the art of, grabbing your own rebound when it came off. I think there's some conspiracy theories that he would pad his stats intentionally. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the most, I think, underrated all-time greats. A lot of people, you don't really hear his name in a lot of the greatest bigs conversations. And from a general fan standpoint, I think people who are pretty dialed into the league and its history, sort of like Jared, would bring him up. But I think we could do a better job, or could do a service to basketball fans of today, just to every once in a while just call out like an old great who was like nice, like super nice, like Moses was. So I really appreciated the post, because like I said, I hadn't seen film of him in a while, and I was like, dang, Moses can play today. Like, you put Moses out there,
he's still passes like Jokic, right?
Yeah, you can put Moses out there today, and he's top 3 MVP. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, that was great. I'm glad you called that out. But you're gonna get in trouble for saying,
"Oh, for sure."
Jokic is okay. Jokic is all right. He ain't no Moses. So I'm glad I'm not the one. I'm glad I'm not the one this week. It's gonna be Jared's turn.
Hey, I like that shirt too. I saw when you lean back, that Kobe MJ shirt. That's the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
All-Star
game. From Customized in Ocean City. That's one of those gift shops, and they do custom shirts.
Oh, you paid about $50 for that thing, didn't you?
Actually, no. It was only probably about like $15.
Oh, really? Them gift shops trying to get you.
No, for real. So, sometimes they do.
Damn, 80% markup.
Jared was a smooth talker on that day. He was like his favorite artist, Sade, over here, smooth operator. Because I ain't been at one of those shops since all for 15. I gotta go by and see. And if I don't see 15, I'm sending a picture directly to you, Jared. Like, yo, which shop was you at? Because I ain't 15.
I ain't never, ever seen them on the shirts at a spot like that for less than like $40. And you pay it too. Every time people pay it. And that's why they keep selling at the prices.
For sure. Hey, y'all saw me come off the screen. For those that's watching and listening, this is what happens when you have 2 touching stuff. So
It's all right, man. We kept going. We didn't even mention it.
Professionals with professionals right there, of course. But yo, there is episode 2. That's a wrap of the Corner 3 podcast. Again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell any and everybody about this. If they a basketball junkie, tell them about the Corner 3 because this is the podcast for you. We out.
Peace.